Hey guys, it's that time of year, nearly shutting down for Christmas time. We've got to make sure our machines are going to be shut down. Also, I just want to briefly talk about heat. At the moment, Brisbane especially, Sydney, I know obviously Cairns, places like that. It's a very hot time of the year. We've got to make sure our environment is air conditioned. If it's not air conditioned, the moment it hits 28 degrees and over, we really don't want to be printing on our DTF printer. It's going to cause issues. It's going to have head blockages and stuff like that. So the key here is to one of two things. One is get your space air conditioned, have it climate controlled. That way we can sit in that sweet spot, 20 to 24 degrees. If you're one of the people that don't have like air conditioned or climate controlled environment, then we really need to be very wary of our temperature. The moment it gets over 28 degrees, you really need to stop printing. Park your head carriage over your capping station, use the moisturizing solution. Don't print till it's cooler. It's gonna hinder your production, but end of the day, if you're one of those people in high temperatures, it's gonna be an issue. So two things, get an air conditioner, make your space cool, or you just have to monitor the temperature of the heads, and if they get too hot, then you need to be basically soaking your heads in solution, turn the machine off, and that will save any issues with your printer. So that's two important things when it comes to heat. The other one also is, on top of that, with heat, also humidity. Now, I'm not sure, a lot of people have already got these. We've made up these little play cards for you with a temperature gauge inside. Optimum humidity is 40 to 60 degrees. So if you're actually low humidity like I'm experiencing here, you can do a real simple and quick little fix. Go to Amazon, grab yourself a little humidifier and put it on your print carriage to show that it's going to, so basically it'll put humidity, like vapor, underneath the head carriage, and it will just stop any head dropouts. Because if we have low humidity, we have head dropouts. Now we're going to go into shutdown. When we shut down for the end of the year, it's really no major difference to our weekend or long-term shutdown. Basically, what we want to make sure is, number one, is that we clean all our capping station, we clean our wiper blade, we clean around our cap tops. We do all that, make sure it's very nice and clean. We do that as our number one. We basically use our moisturizing solution, and with the moisturizing solution, we want to brim fill these caps so that when we bring it through for a long shutdown, every head is submersed into the solution. Make sure that when you turn off, the capping station is right up and under the print heads, so the print heads are soaking this bath of solution. Now, if you've got solution in your cap tops and your head is sealed over the top, it'll last 2-3 weeks, no problem. So that's what we want to do. We want to make sure that the solution is in. The next thing we want to do is we want to make sure that also tap off the lines, because we don't want any ink running through our system and end up, when you come back, a pool of ink is on the floor. Because at the end of the day, we're relying on the ink lines to the dampers to hold our ink in place and not let go. So what we want to do is, I'm just going to pause this printer at the moment. What we want to do is, different systems will have slightly different scenarios, but what we want to do is we want to clamp off these lines. So if you've got clamps here, we want to clamp them all off. That will stop any solution running through the back. If you don't have clamps here, more than likely you'll have clamps at the back. If you have clamps at the back, we want to clamp them off, but we do want to leave the white unclamped, and that is because the white is on an automatic white ink circulation. So we leave the white unclamped, but if you can, or if you do have white clamps at the front, you can clamp them off here. Some machines also will have little taps, sort of look like this, and they sit under this position here. If you have those, you can turn them into the off position, and that will also clamp the lines off, and it won't affect the white ink circulation because it's this side of the dampers. We'll go to the back and we'll have a look at what we do at the back as well. Okay, so at the back, we were talking about clamping our lines at the back. So this particular system, we've got ink lines have little taps. different systems, different printers have different clamping systems, but every system will have some sort of a clamping at the back. For this particular model, we would just be closing off our inclines on every one by just tapping them off. So I'll just keep this one back open, but essentially each one of the colors, we would be tapping off like that, and that will be closing that line. Some systems won't have that. They'll have a line coming down like that, or like maybe like that. It'll come down, they've just got this system at the back, so that's just plugged in under there, and that just requires you to clamp off that like that. And then that's doing the same thing as tapping that off. So that's another system that exists. Also, I think there's a few out there also that have a tap system like that. So that'll be hanging down like that. And essentially at the moment that's in the open position. We just want to close it off to like that. The moment we do that, we take all the pressure off the dampers. Importantly though, we're not going to do that on the white, because if the white circulation is automatic and 24-hour automatic, we don't really want to clamp the white off. So we do it for all our colors, whether it's 4 or 8, but we don't do it for the white. We leave the white open, and we want to actually clamp off the white at the front. So we'll just go back to the front again just to reiterate the white and have a look at that. So just reiterating with the white, we want to make sure that clamp the white from the front. So that's a matter of clamping these off here, and that will take off all the pressure off the white. So depending on whether you got 2 whites or 1 white, just want to basically go through and tap off each one of those. So clamp one of those, that'll take all the pressure off that, and then that'll mean no white can physically fall through to the end over a long break. Colors clamped at the back, we don't need to clamp them at the front, but if you've got clamps, you can also do it there. Just make sure that if you don't have them there and you have them here, clamp there, and have them here, but you have the clamps at the back, just clamp at the back. It's fine for the colors. It's really just the white that we can't clamp at the back, and white needs to be clamped here. Now, just say for instance, you didn't have any clamps at the front or back of your white. You could also do this, get a pair of your clamping scissors. You could put that on 2 of the lines like that, and then you could grab the other 2 lines and you could put your clamping scissors on that, and that's going to do the same thing. So basically, we got it covered quite easily if we've got clamping scissors or clamp, quite easily to do. Let's just go back through the shutdown. We're going to move that over. Use one of these or lint-free cloths. Just make sure that that's nice and clean. So use some blue solution if you need to, but get your white blade nice and clean. And then also make sure your whole area is clean. In fact, you can wipe around the outside of your cap tops with that, or you can use a sponge, sometimes is better. Clean all those up nicely. And then we're going to do the same for the colors. Make sure there's no build-up there. All nice and clean. And then what we want to do is get our solution, moisturizing solution. Make sure you do that when you're shutting down. Then basically press home. Make sure the capping station raises, which we can see it can. If you want to be overcautious, you can even tighten that a little bit more. So you can shut the machine down, and then you can just over tighten that so you know that you've got a really nice tight seal. Then that's basically it. You can last 2-3 weeks like this without any problem. We had no issues last year because everybody followed this video. The other thing to make sure when you come back in the new year, one thing that you need to make sure is when you come back, before you turn it on, the first thing that you want to do is you want to unclamp everything. So if you've got those on, unclamp that, and importantly, go to the back of the machine and untap anything that you've clamped at the back before you come and turn it on. Come turn it on, just do a normal clean and then do a test print. You may need to do a couple of cleans, or you might need to even do a load ink and then do a clean and a test. Now, it might take 2 or 3 times to get it absolutely perfect, but if you follow this procedure, it will be fine. Because it is very important that you follow it. Again, everybody, thanks for your support throughout the year. If you do have any questions about shutdown, please give us a call. The last thing we want is for somebody to have a clogged head when they come back. So no question's a silly one. Get on the phone, get on WeChat, send a message and we'll clear everything up for you. Thanks again, guys. Have a safe and Merry Christmas. Thanks a lot from the Digital Effects team.